Let's go and jump into Malikah's Well. Malikah's Well is a lot of fun. Okay. Throw Ardia onto Thancred. I can't remember what you actually get access to. Oh, Icarus. I think Icarus is the skill that you get access to here. You can just zoom over to whoever you're targeting. Which is fine. Alright. Throw a shield on Thancred. Kind of entice him to pull these guys. And it's just your usual, just spam your AoE, hit as a healer, and then you can throw in a little extra. If you got a single dot to apply, just do your best to apply them to each and every enemy, but again, as I say before, it does not matter. You don't. Not a needed, it's not a requirement to get through this. And if you notice, I didn't even heal Thancred once through that. There's just no need for me to do it. If you're doing small pulls, you really don't need to worry about healing during them. I don't know why Thancred moved over to where I was at. I'm gonna throw a Torkoal here. So what Torkoal does as well, I didn't even mention it before, but Torkoal does, it heals and then it does give whoever you throw it on a short damage reduction. So that also means less healing for you as a healer, so definitely worth it to use. Or getting into the habit of using it. It is on a cooldown though, just to be aware. Because Torkoal gives a single target a damage reduction, but there is also... I can't even remember. I can never remember the names of skills. But if we just keep on doing it, please. Is this one here? Caracol. Caracol is what it is. Caracol gives everybody a damage reduction. Just like how Torkoal gives a single target a damage. For about the same length of time. They do not stack either, by the way. That damage reduction, it gets overwritten. Doesn't matter which one you throw out first, it will get overwritten on the person who gets both thrown at them. Let's try and pull this guy along with all of those. I'm gonna sprint. He's a little bit of a patrol, so sometimes you might have to fight him with that first set that I just did at the very end of the corridor, or you have to fight him over here. Either's fine. Go for this too, because I got hit. Heal Thancred, dropping a little. Pop a Lucid for myself. Alizé, really? Alizé just doing Alizé things. So far, she is 3 for 3 with dungeons and getting hit by easily avoidable damage. And she's the only one at 3 for 3. I'm pretty sure. Because even Thancred managed to avoid the avoidable stuff in Hallminster. And so far, he has avoided the avoidable in this one. Okay, so I'm going to sprint here. It's going to move us through, and the boss will be on the other side of this transition. So this is a boss that can be a little bit screwy, because I'm going to keep an eye on Alizé, because there is a chance that she's going to die in this. So let's just AoE heal everybody. If a DPS dies, it's not the end of the world. If the tank is in a good spot health-wise and there are no crazy incoming mechanics, then you can revive the DPS, but don't make them a priority. If you see somebody dead on the floor and they're not a tank or a healer, don't make them a priority. Get to them when it's safe for you to, and when the rest of the party is also safe. Okay. It's hard to explain the mechanics for this guy, so I'm just gonna go through with them. So he's gonna do a stack marker. And for the trusts, they always want to go into the dead center. You see where this circle is? They do like to go into the dead center to deal with the stack mechanic. Oh, what does? And on that stack mechanic, after it gets dropped, you will want to run away from it very quickly, because it is going to swing at everybody. So what this does, it drops a spike, and then you want to move away, because they are going to spin that spike around. And then there's also going to be this, so if you can, try and shield everybody, and then move into it. That combination, you see, Alizé almost died. That is the combination of mechanics that can screw you over in trusts. Especially if you've got a healer NPC. And then there's a couple of ads that show up here. They're easy to deal with. Language should, in theory, take them. And then you can just AoE them down. Thancred's gonna get hit by that, yeah. So now Thancred is 2 out of 3 for getting hit by avoidable damage now too. Here's the stack. Let's just do an AoE shield. Move away as quickly as possible. Try and avoid those AoEs on the ground. And then stand as far away as possible. And then move in as quickly as possible. Oh, to a safe spot. Don't do what I did. I went a little bit too close because I needed to make sure that nobody else died, because Alizé and Destrola were very close to getting hit. I see that they have changed it though. So before, they also tried to run to the very edge to avoid that that one mechanic. But in doing so, they can not get into the middle in time. And that's how Alphino would repeatedly die. It was always Alphino. I don't know why. So they have changed it so they have a less likelier time to die, I guess. Throw this on here. You could throw a bunch of shields at this point, because everybody's close to each other. And just kind of make sure you got enough time to move yourself. And then standing here is safe enough. Alizé is going to get hit. Notice that she Vert cures herself too. It doesn't do much, but it might just be enough to keep her alive. But because Alizé gets dropped to such low health, the healer has less health than a DPS. So if the Trust healer were to have gotten hit instead of Alizé, they would be dead. And that's why this boss in particular is not fun to level a healer in your Trust. It's so much better to run this as a healer yourself. But if you do need to level a healer in this, go as a tank. So whoever you choose as your healer, it's either Urianger, Graha, or Alphino. Graha is probably better off as a DPS, to be honest with you, or a tank. He's a pretty good tank too. He's a paladin as a tank. And he is a good one. Yeah, Urianger or Alphano as your healer. Go as a tank, preferably warrior, so you don't even have to worry about them not healing you. Because it can be nasty. Urianger died there last time you ran it. Yep, it's probably the worst boss to deal with in Trust for the level 70 to 79 stuff. Because they just can't resolve more than one mechanic at a time. And because that one is so randomized and it comes out quickly, the AI doesn't register it fast enough to make them resolve it properly. Alright, and then heal back on Tancred. Okay, the cupbearer's here, so I'm just gonna pull him anyways. Just to get him in this whole craziness too. Make sure you keep away from his front. Like with any other pull. Tancred is standing in a really awkward spot though. And make sure to avoid those explosions with the Holdus, these giant spheres, because they hurt. They do hit hard. You've probably also noticed that I do run around a lot when I play this game. You definitely don't have to run around as much as I do, but it makes it easier for me to kind of see what's going on if I can see the health bars in front of me. And be able to target each individual enemy to apply my damage over time. At least for now, because later on you do end up getting an AoE dot, which makes things so much easier. You don't get it for a while. You don't get it until level 90, say 90. Might be later than that too. This next boss here, he's fun. He's fun, and there is a way to cheese it to make it a little bit easier. I will show you the way that I do it myself, and then I will also show you the basic way of doing it as well. I would highly recommend doing it the way that I do it, because as it allows you to cast more as a caster. Because otherwise you have to run around a little. There's also something that you can do with Sage with this one that's kind of fun. Using Icarus. Icarus is a very fun skill to use. See this guy? He's got a bucket on his head. And he's also got buckets on his hands too. He's amphibious because, I don't know, he's got buckets, I guess. Alright, I'm going to AoE heal everybody. Well, AoE shield everybody, which is technically a heal as well. There for the shield. Gonna hit him. Tancred should in theory move him. Yeah, there we go. Sometimes it takes a bit for the Trust to actually move them to face the correct way. That's just a tank buster. Heal Tancred. Okay. We definitely want to get out of that. And the instant that goes away, you can go back into the middle here. There is going to be a knockback. Make sure that you're in between these torrents over here, otherwise you will get knocked into them. Okay, so this here, I'm going to show you the safe way to do it. Basically following the Trust. So you basically stand right behind him and make sure that you're always behind him. Because he will rotate all the way around. The cheat way to do it is basically wherever he first turns, like after his first one goes off, and then the second one, you can kind of make a straight line across to the opposite side kind of thing. It's I'll just show it to you. It's hard for me to explain. Explaining things for me is hard. I say as I make these guides for everybody. And then make sure you're between these and you're standing so that you're not going to get knocked back into them. So I'm going to use Icarus here to show you how fun Icarus is. Whee! And it stops you from having to run all the way. Okay. So I stand here. To his left. I wait. I move through. And I just stay here. It just makes it so you only need to move once. You just stay on the opposite side that he's turning, and then just cut straight through. And then stay there. I think he does 2 Tank Busters here? Yeah. Make sure to apply a shield before the second Tank Buster, ideally. At least shield one of them. This again. Or you're in between these. Icarus is... Oh, Icarus is up. Then get knocked back. Between those, you can Icarus back. As a Sage. Okay, so he's gonna move the other way. You want to stand on this side here, to his right. And then just cut all the way through. And you're good.
I will not hold back.
You do not need to follow him around, you just cut through. From one side to the other. That Tank Buster will go off and then he dies. Bye bye, Buckethead. You will be missed. Okay, we're almost there. The final boss of this is a lot of fun, and again, there are ways to cheese it. I will show you the way that you can do it normally, and also the way that you can cheese it. And by cheese it, I mean you can only really cheese it as a caster or ranged. As a melee, you can't really do that unless if you don't want to deal damage for a while. So that's why I'm going to show you two versions. Because this is also kind of teaching you how to do the mechanics too. It's not just how to go through these dungeons. Alizé, really? You got hit by 2 mechanics you could avoid there. Alizé being Alizé. But yeah, this isn't just a guide on how to do it through trust. I'm also kind of helping you deal with mechanics yourself, because especially with trusts, it is very important that you resolve mechanics. You cannot allow yourself to get hit by too many things, because with a regular party, you can die and then the fight can continue until you get resurrected. But with a trust, if you die, you have to start the... Like if it's a boss, you have to start that boss fight from the beginning again. So it can make the run very, very long. And you don't want that. You don't want that when you're leveling trust, because you're going to have to go through these dungeons several times over before you can get to the next one. So you want to try and make them as fast as possible. What I'm showing is kind of like your middle ground for speed, is what you're kind of like hoping to do. But you can go faster by pulling everything together. So these, even if you were to do it as like a fast one, just deal with them individually. Just attack them one at a time, because they're too far away from each other for you to hit with your AoE. So it's just easier just to single target them down. And get rid of this one. And even if you're trying to do it quick as well, I would recommend you to just stick with these two, and then once they're dead, go to these next three. Because they don't do anything until that long cast time is over. And it's just, you don't gain any time, really. Especially considering the Trust is going to continuously target the one that they start targeting in the first place. It's not worth it to try and rush and pull all of these as well. You're better off just doing it this way. These two you can AoE together. They're close enough, but you don't really need to. Because these guys, like, your Trust is going to be single targeting anyway, so there's no issue in you single targeting these guys yourself. Like these ones in particular. Because they're not going to hit anybody until that cast is over. Alright, boss time. This boss has a lot going on. I can't remember how good the Trust is dealing with it. But we're gonna find out. First for anything, right? First for everything, not anything. I know words. Words are hard. Alright. Giant amalgamation of wings. Shield everybody, and then just go straight into it. So it's gonna have two major mechanics. Intestinal Crank is the AoE, so just pop a Caracol, or an AoE shield, or a regen, or whatever you have access to. Heretic Fork. Okay, you want to stand basically where the little balls are, because it's going to do a cross attack, and the only safe spot is in the corners. You are safe to stand in like where the orbs are, just a little bit outside. This one is just, it's safe inside, it's not safe outside. Those are the two main mechanics for this one. But they get a little bit more interesting from now on. Crystal Nails. This is where it gets more interesting. So this is in, these are the ones to stand in. So these are the easiest to resolve. You just gotta stand underneath this guy. And then you could just go down to this one preemptively. Because you just have to follow these around. This is an easy one to deal with. And then you just wait for this one to go off first. And then you move to the next one. Wait for this one to go off.
Away with you.
And then you go to the next one. Wait for this one to go off. And then go to the next one. Wait for this one to go off. And then you go underneath. You should have enough time to get one cast off before you have to move to the next one. But make sure you don't move too quickly, because otherwise you will get hit, and they do apply a vuln stack to you, which is not good, especially if you're not playing a tank. Because what vuln stacks do is it makes you get more damage dealt to you with attacks. So that AoE could have hit you very hard if you had vuln stacks on you. Okay, so this Intestinal Crank is going to be the other major mechanic that we saw. In a very similar way. They're going to show up in a square pattern, I think? Or are they going to show up in north, south, east, west like they did? Probably. Let's just get the Crystal Nails out. Come on. I wanted to hit an AoE, but I didn't have... I like to move a little bit forward. It's kind of a habit because originally your AoEs were very small. Okay, so I'm just gonna do it the regular way. There's a corner here. And then he's going to... Oh, you still actually got hit by that? Okay. So then we're just gonna have to follow this around. So we're gonna do here, here, and we should be safe here. And for the next one, we can stay put here. Don't worry about it, and then move over. And then we will be safe. and then we move back over. This gives you enough, very little movement so you can continue to deal damage, but as a melee, you would want to be a lot closer to the enemy. It's a little bit more spicy. You can also do it as a ranged. I like to do it where I use this corner here, because we're not going to see the mechanic show up again. I'm going to show it here. There's this corner here, and then this corner here. These are your two safe spots for that one mechanic. And yeah, I'm gonna throw a Holos and a Caracol out just to make sure nobody's gonna die. Because there have been times where I have done this fight and I have seen that mechanic twice in the same run. Do I have that Orchestrion? I do. Okay. Yeah, that one can be a little bit finicky. But as long as you stay inside, wait for the mechanic to resolve, and then move to the next one, stay inside, wait for the mechanic to resolve, instead of kind of going here, and then the instant you see this one show up, you move over to it, don't do that. Because that mechanic that you were initially standing in is going to resolve before this one. So you have to make sure that it resolves first. Same with the laser beams. Resolve one and then the other. Don't panic. Don't move preemptively. Just wait for the one that you're standing in the safe spot for to resolve before moving into the safe spot for the other one. And you'll be fine. Just don't panic at the end of the day. And if you do end up getting hidden by one of them, it is fine as well. But the more you panic, the more likely you're going to get hit by things. So just go through it with just an open mind. Don't freak out. Don't worry about doing the wrong thing. Because if you're standing in the safe spot and you know you're in the safe spot, don't doubt yourself that it's the safe spot. And then move over to the next one. And do the same. Otherwise, you will in fact get hit. Because you stood where you needed to. You just had to you had to wait a little before the mechanic resolved.